let's have a little wheel of branding chat because one, I just put makeup on for a video training that I did elsewhere. And two, I got a couple questions in an email I sent out just the other day and I want to address them. First things first, if you don't know what the wheel of branding is and if you don't know how to define your brand in general, go ahead and message me right now. We need to fix that. But the wheel of branding is one of those kinds of things that's a little bit confusing. I cover it in any training I do on brandscaping, but a couple things need to be pointed out here. And I think that they're going to really move the needle in your business when you truly understand them and internalize them. So, what is the wheel of branding, first of all? It is who are you, who are they, and how do you serve them? So, what does that mean? Who are you? Well, think about it like this, all right? A GPS asks you where you are right now. Sometimes it determines that on its own, but it asks you where you are right now and where you're going. It can't tell you how to get where you're going until it knows where you're starting from. So if your best client, some people call this the ideal client avatar, I hate that term, story for another day. But if you need to know how to communicate with your best client, you need to know where you're coming from, and that's who you are. So, who are you? Who are they? That's your best client. And then, how do you serve them? So, in the GPS analogy, that's going to be what kind of vehicle you're on. If you type into Google Maps directions on how to go pick up your kid from school, are you riding your bike or are you driving your car? That does affect the directions for that particular trip. It's the same way with defining your brand message for your business. Who are you? What are you going to be known for in a way that your best client understands and also understands is meant for them and will help them? Because it's not just enough to communicate, you have to communicate in a way that resonates with them so they want to listen to you more and eventually learn from you or purchase the transformation or service that you offer. That is the wheel of branding. And it's because all three parts depend on the other parts to really be effective. And that's why branding can be so confusing for so many people, because you have to know who you are to know how to communicate with them, but you also need to know who they are to communicate with them. And you can't know how to communicate until you know both who you are and they are. Circles. Crazy, confusing circles. It's why it's so important to define them really well with a lot of depth. Once you do that, you always know what your business is doing. You always know where you're at right now, what you need to do next, and the steps involved to get there. And when you have that really clear plan, all of your business decisions become so much easier. All right, so once again, we covered the wheel of branding. It's who are you, who are they, and how do you serve them? And if you need some help in this area, if you get kind of confused looks when you start talking about what you do, if people ask you what you do, you say it and they're like, but, huh? You got a brand message problem and we should probably talk. So go ahead and message me and we'll get that started right away for you.